Okay, we are recording. Yay. Okay, so I'm so glad you guys are on here. Tonight I've kind of given you a little bit of a teaser, but I have wanted to really start talking about a topic that has been on my mind a lot lately, social media. So I know social media, I feel like just from conversations that I've been having with people, I think this is an area that a lot of people struggle with, and sometimes I think it's even more intimidating than having a conversation with somebody about Plexus, because when you're talking with somebody about Plexus, you know that person is listening to you. But when you're putting yourself out there on social media, our biggest fear sometimes can be putting something out there and then getting back crickets. So, we don't have people liking our posts. We don't have people commenting on our posts. And that really starts us asking a lot of questions. Are people seeing the stuff that I'm sharing? Do people want to see the stuff that I'm sharing? Am I annoying people when I share stuff? Are they interested in what I have? Am I putting too much out there? Am I not sharing enough? And all of these things, we just start asking ourselves. And I think it kind of puts us into paralysis. Like, we're paralyzed because we have all these doubts and all these fears creep in, and this causes us to stop sharing. This causes us to stop posting, and we do absolutely nothing. And doing that, that's really the last thing that you want to do with your business, because consistency in sharing about your life and sharing about Plexus, that is really what helps keep people engaged in your feed. And that is what's going to help them to see, that this isn't just a hobby of yours. If you are consistently sharing about stuff, they're going to see that you're passionate about it. They're going to see that it's really impacting your life. And we all have different times that we are ready for Plexus. Some people, it's the first time you talk to them. Other people, it might be the 5th time you reach out to them. But being consistent with this is really, it's what's going to help them decide when they are ready to try Plexus to choose you to order from, instead of maybe their other friend that is selling Plexus. Because I promise you, you are not the only person that is sharing Plexus in your network's lives. Okay, multiple people are. So you want them to think about you when they are ready to start this. So tonight, I really want to talk about attraction marketing, because it's really important, and there are wrong ways to do attraction marketing. So this is something that I have been working on for a while. So I'm going to quickly just cover some of the do's and don'ts, and then we're going to get into some systems that I have put in place for myself that have really just kind of helped me start building a bigger audience, a bigger following. And I really feel like the last 6 months, it's been super effective in helping me to grow my business. So first, I'm going to talk about some don'ts, and I hope you guys are able to take some notes. I am going to go through this kind of fast, and then I will be posting the recording of this. So the first thing that is really one of the most important things that I want to stress: please do not be a negative Nancy on your Facebook page. Okay, Facebook is not your place to complain about everything in your life. I know sometimes we feel that way, but I really want to encourage y'all, find a girlfriend, find your spouse, find a coworker, talk to somebody else about that stuff. Because if you are really working on attraction marketing, you are not going to attract people with negativity. So if you're constantly complaining about work or talking about the latest fight with your spouse or your friend, if you put vulgarity out there on your Facebook page, then, I know for me personally, if somebody pops up in my news feed and it's always negative stuff or vulgar stuff, I tend to hide them from my feed, because we all have enough of that going on in our lives, and you don't want the people that are coming through your feed to be adding to that. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. The next thing I really want y'all to think about is variety. You really want a variety in your news feed, and you don't want to be posting the same thing all the time. So I'm going to actually talk about this one a little bit more in a minute, so hold on to that one. The next thing is, whenever you are sharing about Plexus, for especially those of you that are maybe newer, there is compliance that we have to think about. So you can't post the names of medical conditions. You can't post the names of medications. So if you're somebody that had really bad lupus or really bad fibromyalgia and you've been taking Plexus for a while and now you're off of all of your medication, even though that is true, you cannot publicly say, thanks to Plexus, I no longer have lupus, okay? This can be, like when you start sharing testimonies and stuff, I know that this can be a little intimidating because I do sometimes have to go to testimonies that I'm sharing and I'll edit them a bit. So if somebody, says that they have diabetes, instead of sharing that testimony and having the word diabetes in there, I'll edit it and it'll say, they have blood sugar issues that require medication. Okay, so there's simple little things that you can do. But one thing that I really want to dive into really quick is if you come across something, say it's a really good testimony, and say it does mention medical conditions, okay, and you know that it's going to speak to someone that you really know, you really want them to see it, you have a couple options. You can always private message it to them. And honestly, that's a really great way to do it because it can start that conversation with them. If maybe you haven't had that before, that conversation with them, then sending them a testimony about something that that they specifically deal with, that can speak volumes, and that can be just a natural way to open up that door of you sharing this with them. But if you don't want to do that, the next thing I'm going to show you is one thing that I use all the time. And this is creating private friends lists. And you can make your post visible to just that group. So this is something I did spend quite a bit of time working on this, just going down my friends list. But this has helped me be able to be open with how Plexus is helping me without really having to worry about compliance or getting in trouble, because compliance rules state that we cannot publicly share that stuff. So I share it within that private friends list. So I'm going to attempt is my keyword, to screen share so that I can show you guys how you can do that. So let me see if I can get to, there it is, okay. And I am going to show you guys this. Okay. So here is, can you guys see my screen? I can't see you guys, so hopefully you can. Somebody shoot me a text if you can't, and I should be able to get my text. But this is something you have to do on your personal Facebook page, okay? So you have to go to your computer to do this. You cannot do this on your phone. So this is on my computer. This is my Facebook page. This is my main screen whenever you go to Facebook. So if you look over here on the side where it has all of these things listed and you click on this See More, you see where it says Friends List, and Friends List pops up. So click on Friends List, and here's lists that I have, okay? So you're gonna go to Create Lists, and you can call this your potentials. Okay, so this is just the people in your life that, don't have Plexus and really could use some education about it. So you're just gonna go through and add people on here. So Esther, you get put on there. My sister, Renee, you're on there. Okay, so you can add whoever and you create this list. So here's my potentials list. Okay, so now my news feed only has whoever's on this list in it. So that's a great way for me to interact with them. I can go just to that list and interact with just these people, and that way I make sure we're engaging on Facebook. But another thing that you can do, okay, so I'm going to click up here just so I'm on my regular feed. When I go to create a post, so I'm going to create this post, say I'm just going to grab a photo. I'm not really going to do a post. This is just an example. Okay, so I'm creating this post. If you go over here, I was messing with it earlier, so it was on the wrong thing. So normally mine is automatically set to public. This is my privacy setting. But if you click on that and you go down to more, and I keep scrolling and it says see all, and I keep scrolling, here is all my lists. So this says potentials right here. I can click on that potentials list, and now when I do this post, only people that I have on that list are going to be able to see this post. So I have all of my friends and my family that don't do Plexus, I have them on a specific list to where if I am sharing something that does say specific things that I cannot share publicly, I can share it with this private list. And that way I know if I have somebody who has a severe health issue and really needs to see this, I know that they're going to see it, and I have a way of sharing it without getting in trouble with the compliance department. Okay, so it's pretty easy. If any of you struggle with that, please let me know, and I'm happy to help. Just make sure that you are doing it from your computer, because you can't do it from your phone. Okay, so that is one way to kind of help you with, I guess, your posting and staying compliant. But really the last thing I want to talk about is not posting salesy stuff. Okay, and salesy stuff. So I know a lot of us sometimes we're in a hurry and you really know you need to share something. And so you kind of grab a graphic that you think is cute and you just put it out there so that you have something out there. But I know this can be easier, but it's really not helping your business if you do that, because there are so many people out there that are selling things, especially on Facebook, and you need to make sure that the way that you do it is different. Okay, you want to stand apart. You want to engage people in your posts and not disengage them in your post. So I am going to show you an example of a cheesy post, and this is none of y'all, don't worry. I just went and kind of surfed Facebook and found something that I could share. So I hope y'all can see that. But that is an example of a cheesy post. So it's a great post as far as just the verbiage, but when it comes to just grabbing a graphic and throwing it in there, you guys are going to be much more effective. If you even just posted a picture of you and your drink, or your kiddo drinking their drink, or if it's not even you and your drink, just a picture of your drink in your own personal cup. So anytime you can stay away from those graphics, that right there is automatically going to engage your audience more, because they're connecting with you instead of just seeing another ad come across their feed. Okay, so that's the last thing about those that I wanted to talk about. So now I want to touch a little bit more on how you can actually share on Facebook in an effective way. Okay, so no more don'ts. This is also really where the variety that I mentioned before comes in. You don't always want to be posting about Plexus or always just posting about family. I know sometimes that we don't know what to share, so we're like Plexus, family, and we just kind of toggle back and forth. But you really want to mix things up and share a variety of things, because different things are going to appeal to different people. And when it comes to Facebook, you just want to make sure that you are engaging as many people as possible. So I have a calendar that I do. I'm going to show you really quick. Okay, this is something that I now live by when it comes to my posting. So I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to help you guys create something for yourself. And it may not be exactly like mine, and that's totally fine. You just want to make sure that you have some kind of system in place for yourself. Okay, so one of the most important things that I want you guys to think about is branding, because that's what attraction marketing is all about. What is your brand? What do you stand for? What are you passionate about? What kinds of things do you naturally talk about? You know, all of these things are going to be your brand. And for me, you guys who follow me, you know I have kids. I'm a homeschooler. I care about health. I love God. I love my husband. I love to make people laugh. I love cooking. Okay, these are all different things under my brand. So this is your homework. If you are taking notes, you need to write that down. Really think through your brand. And the next thing you're going to do with that, write down as many things as you can. And then you're going to categorize these into 4 to 5 main categories. And I have 4 main categories that I really try to follow. So one of them is obviously going to be Plexus. Okay, that's one of my brands. One of my next main categories is family. My next one is health, and I really do think that health is different from Plexus. So I'm going to tell you guys why in just a minute. And then my fourth one is actually, I just call it interactive, okay? So under these 4 main categories, I then have subcategories. And these subcategories are all different things that I can post about that kind of fall under the umbrella of the main categories. So stay with me here because I'm going to give you some examples, okay? So, and this is going to require a lot of screen sharing because I went through and tried to find just a post example of each thing that I've done just to kind of help you guys see it. So one thing, so if we take my big umbrella of family, okay, so if I know I want to post about my family, I don't want to post about the same thing every single time. That gets boring. So, so here's one example, okay? This is one example of how I post about my family, okay? So there's my sweet little kiddos right there. Another example, and hold on, let me go to my notes because I have all of these labeled. So another thing that may be considered under my family umbrella is posting about my husband. So I did this post just talking about his ministry that he started, okay? Another example, so here's like my hubby right here, okay? I may post about marriage. Another thing that I would consider under this brand of family would be mom humor, so people understand the mom life. So here's something that I did. You'll see it got a lot of likes. I really try to add humor into a lot of things that I do because I like to make people laugh, but also it gets more interaction. Another thing that would fall under my brand would be homeschool. You know, I would put homeschooling under family because I homeschool my kiddos. So here is an example of homeschooling in a post that I would do. And notice most of them include graphics. I do try to have some kind of photo with everything because that's more eye-catching. Another thing that I would consider under family would be like a day in the life of my family. So this one doesn't have a picture or something, but you know, it's just a funny little thing that happened for my family. So I wanted to throw it out there. Okay, so these are all subcategories under that main umbrella of family. And I'm going to show you all how this fits into my calendar in just a second. But I want to just really help you understand these subcategories, okay? So next, say it's Plexus. Say I know that I need to post about Plexus. Okay, oh, I'm not showing you. Did it switch? It did. Okay, good. Okay, so here, you know, if I think Plexus, well, maybe I'll think I need to share a personal post. Okay, so here is a personal post that I did about Plexus. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. You can just share personal stuff. Here's another just little quick personal post that I did. And I'm really hoping these are switching. I can't see the ones that it's selecting, but it's telling me it's switching. So if it's not, y'all shoot me a text and help a sister out, okay? Oops, and my camera's shaking. So that's another one. Or if I'm thinking I want to post about Plexus, maybe I want to share product information. So I would share something like this. I try to relate it to me personally, even though it's about products. Okay, I try to have a picture that I took, not a graphic. You know, so these are all the little things that you can think through whenever you're thinking, oh, I need to post about Plexus. Okay, instead of just making it the same Plexus post over and over, you can have all these little subcategories to give you ideas. Or maybe I want to share a friend's testimony. Okay, so here's an example of a friend's testimony that I may share. Maybe I want to do some kind of giveaway. If I look back and think I haven't done a giveaway for like a month, maybe I need to share a giveaway of one of the products. You can do a post about a giveaway and post a picture of yourself with the stuff that you're giving away. Okay, so if you're giving away a pink drink, then post a picture of you and your pink drink. You know, anytime you have a photo, it's going to engage your audience more. Or if I haven't done a sale in a while, you know, that's another thing I can share about Plexus and still be under that Plexus category. So I would do some kind of sale post. So this one I was doing a discount on our 7-day trials. Is there a 7-day trial? That's another thing that you can post about. Okay, so these are all under that Plexus umbrella. And I hope you guys are able to keep up with all of these. So the next one is health. That is one of what I consider one of my big main categories. And I do feel like it's different from Plexus because there is so much in health that you can share about. So one thing I might do is news articles on health stuff. And this one's a really long picture, so it might be hard to kind of see it, but I shared some information that I had gathered from an article. Okay, so that's something that you can share. Recipes, I love to cook, and so I actually consider that under health. If I find a good recipe that's clean eating, I'll share that under my health category. Exercise tips and motivation, that's a really great one that you can do as well. You can, like here's something I did about just motivating people to start changing their health. You know, just taking that first step. So these are all my subcategories under health. And then interactive, okay? Interactive is super important. You all need to have an interactive category, because what interactive does is, the point of it is to really help your Facebook algorithm. So one of the first ones under that is advice posts. You'll see I got a whole lot of comments on this. I just asked people for their opinion on this, or their advice on this. So doing things that are really going to get people to interact on your feed are going to help boost your algorithm. Okay, so that's one thing that would be under my interactive. I do consider motivational posts to be interactive, unless it's something like specific to fitness or health. So this was just a post I shared about motivation, and I'm almost done with giving you all of these pictures. Another one would be, like, I love sharing like life hacks and organizational tips, like those things that you come across that blow your mind that you did not know. So I did this the other day. You know, these are all just different ways that you can post that really will engage people. Okay, so I hope I'm back now. I think I stopped the screen sharing. So this is all where my calendar comes in. So I print out a blank calendar for the month, and then I cycle through my 4 main categories, and really my goal is to post 3 times a day. So sometimes I post more, sometimes I post less, but 3 times a day should be your goal, because this is what will help keep that balance in what you're sharing. And 3 times a day is actually pretty ideal as far as maximizing your Facebook algorithm. So I try once in the morning, once in the middle of the day, and once at night. And one thing that people do sometimes is posting too much, because if you post too much, then you're going to be competing against yourself in your news feed, because only so much stuff can show up in the news feed. So you're kind of hurting yourself. So this is my calendar. Okay, can you all see that? I hope you can. So if you look, I go to the first of the month, and I just cycle through all my categories. So I have Plexus Family Health Interactive, Plexus Family Health Interactive, Plexus Family Health Interactive. And I just do the whole month and just cycle through it, okay? And then when I look at this calendar, I can go to the notes section of my phone, and I have saved to the notes section of my phone all of my branding notes. So that is where I have my main categories. That's where I have my subcategories, and I can glance through it to see what I want to share. So if I, say I go to today, and I see on today that I wanted to share about Plexus this morning, then I can go into my notes section and look and think, do I want to do a personal post? Do I want to share product info? Do I want to do my friend's testimony? Is there a giveaway, a sale, a 7-day challenge? And these subcategories really just take away that struggle for me of trying to figure out what to post, because if I go to that is 6 different things that I can now choose from to post about that all fall under that Plexus category. And then, the middle of the day today, I knew that I wanted to post about family for the middle of the day today. So I went to my subcategories, and there was bragging about my kids, talking about my husband. I could talk about marriage. I could share a mom joke. I could talk about homeschooling, or just what my family is doing today. So actually this one, before I was able to pick it, we ended up having a choking catastrophe that I shared about. I'm sure y'all saw it. My son, for the second time, almost died, and thankfully God kind of intervened. So I ended up not picking anything else, because I'm like, well, that definitely covers family. But, that's just an example, though, of I was able to not have 2 Plexus posts or 2 family posts. Tonight, I knew that I wanted to share about health. So I could go to my subcategories and see, is there a recipe that I want to share? Is there an article that I want to share about taking vitamins or probiotics, or a meme about exercising. So I ended up doing something really funny about my husband and working out. And hold on, I see something in the chat. Yes, I will share my categories and my subcategories with you. And I've shared it with a few of you, but yes, I will share them all, and the more you can write out, the better, okay? Like the broader you make your subcategories, it's gonna be easier and easier for you to think of something to share, so that you have lots of options to pull from whenever you look at your calendar and you see family. Well, maybe you're like, oh, I don't want to post about my family right now. But if you go to your subcategories, you're going to see there's a whole lot of things that you could actually post about that fit under that category. And one note I do want to make about this calendar is I always make sure that my interactive posts fall before my next Plexus post, because I want to make sure people are going to see what I'm sharing. And the activity on one of your posts determines the visibility of your next post. So if you have a super interactive post, like if I, my one asking for board game ideas for Christmas, if I post Plexus right after that, that really boosts my Plexus post in my audience. And then another tip is anytime someone is commenting on your posts, really try to reply to their comment, because it's not just the likes, it's really the comments that drive your algorithm, because Facebook is all about being social. And so they really love when you're interacting with people in the comment section. So it's just really going to help your posts out. So I hope this doesn't seem super complicated. It's really not. And the more you use this calendar, you're going to kind of get into that rhythm of posting and branding. And for me, it's just gotten easier and easier. And I don't even have to use my calendar anymore. I do still try to fill it out at the beginning of the month, but I try to stick to my same rhythm. So I do Plexus, family, health, interactive over and over and over. So I can just now go to my feed and I can see, oh, I shared family last time. So now I know next I want to do something health related. And so instead of having to go to my calendar, I can just go look at my phone in those subcategories, and I see my 5 to 6 different ideas of things that I can share under health. And it just makes it easy for me to come up with something. Another tip is, I was talking with somebody earlier about this, sometimes things pop in my head, like a great Plexus post that I want to do, but I just shared about Plexus, so I know it's going to be a day and a half before I do again. I actually will go ahead and roll with that thought and write it out, and I'll message it to myself. And that way, whenever now I have this whole backlog, or like a great recipe, I'll go ahead and write up a post about it and take a picture and message it to myself. Or if a funny thing happens with my family, I'll go ahead and write it up and message it to myself. So now I actually have a good, log going of posts, to where half the time I'm not even having to think of it in the moment. I can just go to my thing and, oh yeah, that happened, and it fits with this category that I want to share about right now. So let me go ahead and do it. Okay, so that's just another thing to think about. Yes, do you do that too? Yes, and I go back and if I see somebody else do a really great post, you can actually go to that post and click on the little drop-down arrow in the upper corner and save that post. And you can even categorize them now. So you can create a category that's going to help you pull it up later. And then you can use that post to kind of give you an idea of turning it into something that works for you. So, really, I want you guys just really think about what your brand is. It's going to help you. Questions to ask yourself, like, what do you want to be known for? Are you a teacher? Do you work out a lot? Do you like animals? Do you like to cook? Do you like to garden? Do you do Pinterest all the time? Do you travel? Do you have kiddos? Do you play sports? Do you work in medicine? Like, there's so many things. Do you blog? Write down everything that you stand for, and then really try to break it down into those 4 to 5 main categories, because then all of those other subcategories can fall under those. And then, like I do, put it in the notes of your phone, because then if you're sitting in the drive-through line or you're at work, you have an easy place to reference it when you're trying to figure all of this out. So it's really helped me, and I have quite a few people lately that have told me, they have another friend that sells Plexus, but they ended up deciding to order from me because they just like how I share on Facebook. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know, it can be hard to consistently post. It really can, and it can be hard to feel like you're being effective. So try this out. I want to challenge you to try it out for a month. And I mean, I promise you, your presence on Facebook it's going to increase. We also do have a team page for Facebook posting ideas. So I try to be pretty good about just kind of putting posting examples in there. I don't always remember to put mine, but you guys are welcome to share your own. So if you do a Facebook post about Plexus and it's something that you don't mind sharing, you can just hop in there, and then you can share other ideas with us. So does anybody have questions about this? I'm going to share us or change it to the group. Oh, most of you don't have your videos on. Anybody have questions, you're welcome to ask. I can see the chat now. Oh, I love you too, Jara. Okay, for those of you that are probably freaking out that I just put your face on camera, I will take your face off camera really quick. And then also, I want you guys to make sure to be in that Plexus Ambassadors community page because tomorrow is our new product. I'm so excited. So they are doing a Facebook Live at 6 o'clock Central Time. So it said 5 Mountain Time, which is 6 Central Time. And then we also tomorrow have the Jules Favorite Theme Party. And there's like $700 worth of prizes being given away. And then it was either 14 or 16 Jules that are going to be sharing their top business tip. So the way that you get entered for those prizes, the videos are super short. They're all between like 2 and 8 minutes. Just watch the video, and some are going to ask for their favorite, your favorite takeaway in the comments. Some are going to ask you some question at the end of the video and you just answer it in the comments. And then those who comment are who they're going to be drawing the prizes from. You just have to have 100 PV to be in that. So I would reach out to your people on your team. If you see somebody's at like 98 PV and they're going to miss out on this, maybe shoot them a message. Maybe they missed seeing about it. I also know with this new product tomorrow, that is going to be a great way for people to get to 100 PV. So I know that I personally, if I have people who maybe haven't ordered or, maybe, there's people sitting at like 99 PV. It's crazy. Then I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to tell them about the new product. I'm going to encourage them to give it a shot. And I'm going to tell them like, hey, if you do this, you'll be over 100 PV. And then you can join us in this group, this event that's happening. They did extend it to Wednesday. So they had it before that you had to have 100 PV by the time of the party. They actually have till Wednesday because they want people to have that chance of getting the new product and, getting that and them an entry into the party. So just keep that on your radar. But that is it, you guys. I'm so glad y'all got on here. And if you have questions about any of it, let me know. Oh, and as far as where I got my calendar, I went to Google. I just went to Google and typed in December 2018 calendar and went to the images, found one I liked, and printed it out. So it's pretty simple to get a blank calendar. But anyway, I'm going to stop the recording. So hold up a second.